Liverpool v everybody. I'm back. We are back to talk about the build up to the game today. And don't get caught slipping. It is 5:55. I think UK time, 12:55 in the states here for the game
Mm.
tonight against RB Salzburg. So, um, Gary, our last two results, last two performances, really have been, I think, two of probably our better results. And I think the comforting thing about that is that we made a great deal of changes in the squad, and we still showed up. So I'm just feeling really, really confident um, just for the remainder of the season, seeing our team and seeing that we have more to offer. Whether we're rotating or whether we need to bring guys in to give guys a rest or guys that are injured, whatever the case may be, that's a really good feeling. And as we said before, these two good tune-up games to go into this RB Leipzig game. So just how are you feeling about the game tonight? I know amongst some of the fan bases, I don't I want to say fear, but maybe a little bit of nervousness going to a game. I think the nervousness is a natural feeling. I think it's something it's just part of football, no matter who you're playing. It's kind of like a final. I think more so for Salzburg playing against a team like Liverpool and doing really well in their league as well. So yeah, just how are you feeling about the game today?
No, I'm very confident about the game today because I'm not really worried about Salzburg. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it actually because it's a game where there's something to play for. And even though we wanted the Napoli game obviously done so we can have this game so it's a dead rubber, you know what? It's a game. It's a big game, and it's obviously as a football fan you love to play in these big games where it means something to win. And I'm very looking forward to it because Salzburg they're a very good team, but as I've said before, if Salzburg are hot on fire, then what are we in terms of our form? So
Yeah.
they haven't lost I think in 3 years or 2 years at home. I mean I heard that same sort of stat with Porto. They haven't lost in a whole year at home, and we went bad on 5-0.
Yep.
So they're playing. They're going to be playing against a different opposition. They're going to be playing against the best team in the world. Um, and I look back to that first game when we played them, and we were 3-0 up within half an hour, and we were tearing them apart when we were fully focused. You know what I mean? So then we let them back in it because we were just complacent. And then when we went 3-3, we stepped it back up again and we won the game. Is that so? That we're gonna win the game tonight. I'm not here saying I'll take a draw before the game because I want to top the group and I know we can beat them. So I'm not here saying I'm nervous. I'm completely fine. It's not like last year where we needed a result, where we needed a 1-0 win or a clear, or if Nappy scored, we need to win by 2 clear goals. That was a different sort of pressure. You know what I mean? Where there was a bit of nervousness. Not this time though. This time it's completely in our hands, and we know that I just have a feeling that we're going to win tonight, and we're going to beat them 2-3-1, something like that. Because the way we've
Mm.
been playing recently, the last couple of games, they've really encouraged me. I know we've been getting the wins and all of that stuff, being Palace away and Brian, but seeing our performances against Everton and seeing our performances against Bournemouth, they've given me a lot of encouragement to say that we're sort of getting into a rhythm where we're going to start blowing away teams. And I can see that now in this sort of December period because even last year, we stepped up in December massively, beating Bournemouth 4-0, beating United 3-1, beating Newcastle 4-0, beating Wolves 2-0, beating Arsenal 5-1, battery left, right, and centre, even beating Napoli. So I'm feeling very confident tonight.
Yeah, and just stepping away from Salzburg a bit because you brought up a point there about battering teams, and as I started off by saying that it's good to see the back-to-back wins, not just the wins, but the how we won it, the goals that we scored. That's 8 goals in over 2 games. Obviously, Everton and Bournemouth. Um,
Mm.
is it? Do you think it's worth even mentioning the two opponents? Just how when we caught them, at least. Of course, Everton had a nice little bounce back. Maybe Bournemouth will have the same. Do you think it's worth mentioning that the two teams were pretty bad and that played a role, or is it just look these are the teams that are in front of us? You got to play who you got to play, and it's still worth um, looking at that as a positive as to how we performed on the days.
Well, I think it's a positive because Brighton's a good team, but I
Mm,
wouldn't say they're massively better than Everton or massively better than Bournemouth. You know what I mean? So
mm,
other teams as well that we played, Villa. You know what I mean? We scraped the win there. You know what I mean? So it was encouraging to see us just have a more calm performance, a more professional performance, get the goal early, get the first goal, and then just go for it. You know what I mean? Go for it, get a couple of goals, and just take our foot off the gas. And that's what we did. We controlled the game really well after getting a couple of goals early, especially in that Everton game. Sorry, especially that Bournemouth game. I know we could do a couple against Everton, but in that Bournemouth game, got the goal, and then it was just a very mature performance. Didn't give Bournemouth a stiff at all. So it was a as I said, I love getting the 3 points, but when you see your team playing like that with that sort of confidence and maturity, it's great to see. So I'm very, very happy, and it sets up nicely for this game and obviously the next few games that we have coming up. So, as Klopp said, it's one of our, I think he said it's the biggest games of our lives or something like that, or our biggest games in year, one of these biggest games that we've had in this sort of reign of the club. So it's true, of course, when you're when you're European champions or you're about to win the Premier League, you can't get knocked out in the Champions League group stages. You know what I mean? After winning the Champions League last year and about to win the Premier League, so. Yeah, I mean we've been in these situations, but the players are very experienced, and we always seem to come out on top anyway. I can come back to 2005, I can come back to 2000 last year against Napoli. As I said, well, we need a result. We're gonna get, and we're gonna get tonight, and we're gonna top the group.
Yeah, I mean, I think Henderson said something similar about it being the biggest game, and it really is. People can say it's cliche or it sounds good and all that, but that's what's so good about this team, especially this year. They are literally, you can see they're taking each game as it comes, and I think Klopp is preparing for each game as it goes. Now, behind closed doors, maybe he's doing like a 4 block of games, and him and the managers get together, but it does seem like we're literally taking each game one at a time, and we're finding ways to beat whatever team we're playing against based on how they play, making up a certain game plan for each team individually. And I think that's a beautiful thing to see. Also, I love what Klopp said about how hungry they are. And, maybe in years past, you think, oh, this Liverpool team might struggle against Salzburg today, especially because of the game at Anfield. But this team wants to win everything. And I think this season, more than any, I think winning the group usually gives you a quote unquote easier opponent in the next round. There's so many good teams.
And also you get the second leg at home.
Oh, that's true. Right. So, but and I say this, that, so many good teams, but at the end of the day, no matter who we're facing, I don't really see it. I still believe we're the best team in Europe, and I think that hasn't changed and won't change. So I'm ready to bring on whoever. But just delving in a bit more to this Salzburg team. Obviously, they came to Anfield. That was our first game back into the Champions League. Packed crowd, really nice excitement. We get ahead of them pretty early, and we're getting goals, and we're looking our blistering best. The second half, they showed their quality in both halves. I think obviously Holland, Milamino, they had a nice little squad. They remind me a bit of Liverpool when Klopp first came, and maybe even some of his Dortmund side. So they have some attacking flair. They're a really good team. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just think Liverpool are just on a mission this year, especially after last season, and we'll be able to get it done. When we're looking at lineups and we're looking about the style we play, obviously Fabinho is out. I'm not too sure what the update is on Lovren. I haven't heard the full press conference. I don't know if Klopp brought that up.
He's travelled, so he's all right.
He's travelled. Okay, cool.
Well, I don't know if he's fit to play because there's two different things between being fit and obviously travelling. But I'm not too sure. But it looks like he's okay to play. But I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that he would travel if he wouldn't at least be on the bench. But yeah, that could mean that maybe Klopp just want to just don't want to take a risk with him, has him on the team.
And of course we have. Yeah, and sorry to interrupt you, but of course we haven't got any other fit centre backs, so he's going to have to just push through because obviously Gomez, who's going to be on the bench if Gomez is not there? We haven't got Fabinho to play there centre back. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things there, so he has to be on the bench.
Yeah, and obviously, knock on wood, that it's nothing major. I think a key thing to remember is that he didn't go down into the tunnel when he had that injury or whatever it was. He just sat on the bench. So hopefully, it all points to signs that he should be fine. But are we going with a midfield like Hendo, Gini, Milner, something kind of, I guess, quote unquote safe, but enough to get the win in our usual front three, and obviously using our fullbacks to be creative? What are you looking at Klopp's tactics to be in this game?
I mean, if Milner didn't play in the weekend, I know I'm pretty sure Milner played because Ronaldo didn't play, right? Which I think would have been. But I think if Milner, I'm only thinking about it a bit now because Milner could be playing 3 games in a week. I think it's possible. The man's a machine. He can do it, but I'm not too sure. And especially after Kane's performance, what do you think about putting him in? You know, Oxford Chamberlain,
Yeah,
all these players
yeah,
that are they're into performance. I think Milner's playing well right now. I think Chamberlain's playing well right now. Kay is playing well. Henderson, everyone's playing well at the minute. It's not just. And I'm looking back on the past few games, which is good to see. So, it's a good selection here for Klopp because there's a lot of players that are obviously looking to start now and looking to push ahead of each other in the pecking order for the positions. Because obviously Fabinho's out now, so it's a chance for Kane to come in. It's a chance for Chamberlain to get more minutes, and all these other players like Milner. So it's good to see. I think he might sort of just push Milner for this last game. Milner, Gini, and Hendo, and obviously Milner won't play for another 2 weeks, and maybe until the Club World Cup. Obviously he won't play against Watford and Villa and stuff like that. So possibly he might play, but maybe Naby Keita could get a start after the performance he had against Salzburg. And obviously he's played. He was at Salzburg, wasn't he? Naby Keita. So that's gonna be possibly. I'd like to see Keita. Chamberlain possibly, yeah. I'm not too sure. I think the only fixed positions that we know are Wijnaldum and Henderson. Because I think Wijnaldum's fit now again, so Wijnaldum's going to be playing at Henderson. Those two are fixed. There's either Chamberlain, Keita, or Milner. And I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, to be honest with
you. Yeah. I'm curious to know your opinion on Firmino lately. I think obviously Mane's been the creme de la creme of the front three this season. I think that's clearly clear and easy to say. Obviously Salah had a really, really good game, I thought. Bournemouth, that's something we need to see after maybe not being in the best form lately. What's great for me is that we're able to rest Mane for a full 90 minutes and then reverse that and swap that for Salah for a full 90 minutes, or maybe it was the other way around. Either way, we got both of them, off the pitch for a full 90 minutes. Firmino's played a little bit here and there, but do you think there could be a shout for Origi leading that line with Mane and Salah? Or no, this is definitely.
I don't think I tweeted it right during the Bournemouth game, but I was thinking of tweeting it. I mean, something must have just slipped my mind. But I think I was going to tweet that Firmino needs to do more recently, because I think that he's been a bit quiet. Obviously we know what Firmino does, the way he presses, the way he works hard. But I think just a bit more in terms of his link-up play. Getting a bit more involved, because I think he's been a bit isolated recently. If you look back at the Napoli game, the other game, what do we have? Brighton, Everton. Obviously, Everton when he came on, I thought he did well, but that was obviously coming off the bench. I thought on the weekend against Bournemouth, I didn't think he was great. A bit quiet. So I think he needs to be doing more. And I think with Origi, what Origi does well, you got two different things. You got Firmino drops deep and pick up the ball, and obviously wants a link play. But Origi, he's sort of play that links that makes runs in behind and stretches defenses. And he did that really well against Everton with those sort of runs that Mane, the balls that Mane picked out to Firmino, which was great to see. So to Origi, sorry, the ball that he played to Origi for the Everton for his first goal against Everton. So yeah, I think Origi's great, does great at that, but I just can't see Klopp maybe taking risks in this sort of game. He's just sort of the tried and trusted. Let's go for it. That's why I think Milner might start again tonight.
Yeah, it's funny because you made me think about last night. I was going through each week to now, just highlights, from game week one or game week one to where we are now, and just watching all the games back. And I came across a video that they do a lot. They'll say, the game that made Liverpool by Mane, and it was a game Southampton versus Liverpool, and I remember saying. I remember seeing Mane and Wanyama on the Southampton bench looking like, bro, when are we going to get in? They come in and they change the game and win it. And Mane was so incredible in that game. I think he missed the pin, but they ended up winning. He got 2 goals back for them, I believe. And he was doing a lot of that 10 work. He was doing a lot of that coming back for the ball. And so I say all that to say, I think even if Firmino doesn't play, which I'm sure he probably will, I almost bet money on it, but Mane has shown without Firmino on the team that he can do that role of coming back, getting the ball, He's just as
Yeah.
strong. He's just as eager to knock guys off the ball, to flick the ball off of guys' feet. So, yeah, and that was the only thing I was thinking about. If we lose Firmino, that's what because even in the games he hasn't necessarily been scoring or playing his blistering best, he still does so many other things that goes unappreciated, I guess I could say, and it's still really effective for our team. But yes, I think it's true. I think even Firmino would be able to say it. He does need to be a bit better.
He started the season really well, didn't he,
He
Firmino?
did. He did.
Against Norwich, against who was it? Against Southampton. Then he played well against Arsenal. Obviously, again, Burnley scored again. Newcastle, he got that nice little assist after coming off the bench. Salah, he started the season really well, and I wanted to see a bit more of involvement from him. It's not a dig or anything.
Yeah.
It's something that I think we can sort of just see a bit more from Firmino. But as I said, when Salah was out of form, it was Mane carrying it. When Mane was out of form last season, at the start of last season, it was Salah carrying it. This is what these players do. You know what I mean? If one doesn't step up and one is having a bit of a rough time, then the other one steps up. And this is what we have about our front three. You know, they all play for each other. They all play for the team, and that's why. So when I look at some of these players like Mbappe and all this stuff, I mean, they're great to have, but they're also these players have egos. You know, they don't have big egos. They're players that play for the team and play for the fans. You know what I mean? That's why I love the team that we have because they're all together. You know what I mean? They're all as the brilliant humans as well, as you can see, and they're all down, very humble and down to earth. So it's great, and that's why when I look at Mbappe, I saw him the other week having a little argument with Thomas Tuchel. I mean, it's the 90th minute, the 91st minute, and he's arguing about getting subbed off in the 91st minute. I'm like, I just wouldn't want that sort of character in the team. You know, why would you want someone that's getting disappointed about getting subbed off in the 91st minute when the game's about to end in a couple of minutes?
Well, you know, here's the thing. Not to cut you off, but I've never rated Tuchel, and I think a certain manager like Klopp, that's just not going to happen because he's not going to allow it to happen. Now, Tuchel is a guy that all respect to him and all that, but I think he's on the level with some of these players. He's not that old, much older than them, and this is not an excuse. I mean, you should respect your manager either way, but I think that's a lot to do with the manager. If you're a manager that players respect, then no one should be coming at you like that. And look, no one loves coming off the field. You want a player who has that fire in them, but there's a certain time for a certain thing. You know, there's a time and place for everything, and that just isn't the time to be doing it. And I think again, what Klopp's done with these players and the mutual respect and patience that they have with each other. I think Klopp's probably asking all these guys, look, just be patient. Everybody's going to play. Everybody's going to get their fair share of minutes. Of course, some guys are going to get more than others, but if you just hang in there, stay with us, stick to the plan, then we'll win together. And I think that harmony he's instilled in the club is one that I haven't seen a lot in my years of watching football. I mean, seriously.
And the thing is as well, I mean, I'll bring up something here that I remember seeing Ferdinand talk about Alex Ferguson, right? And it was like I think he said something about Fergie used to tell sort of remember how Javier Hernandez used to be the sort of super. He used to tell him that you know what, you're not going to play for these next couple games, but you're going to start the third game and you're going to score in that game. And what Javier Hernandez used to do, he used to come on and he used to score in that game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and he used to build up that Ferguson. Same with Klopp. The way he uses Origi, Shaqiri, he hasn't played for 3 months, but he goes and starts the Merseyside derby. The trust he has in all these players, and that's why he mentioned after that. He said that it's a squad. It's not just 11. It's a whole squad. It's a collective thing, and that's the thing with Origi again. Starting the likes of Shaqiri, Origi, Lallana in the Merseyside derby, dropping your best player like Salah, Firmino, your captain Henderson. You wouldn't expect that from any other manager but Klopp. You know what I mean? That's why as you see similarities between him and Ferguson in terms of how they use players, in terms of their trust towards them. So this is why it's so great. And as I said, Shaqiri, Origi, all these players are going to be very important for us across the whole of the season because they've shown that they can't when they can go without playing 3 months, but they can come in and start a massive game and perform. And that's what you want from the team.
Yes, it's. I mean, again, it's just really reassuring, man, with this team, and Klopp has just gotten them really drilled in and zeroed in on all the goals that they have to accomplish this year. So yeah, no, it's just really good to see the camaraderie in the squad and what Klopp is doing. And I mean, I can't say enough. And clearly, and we still have people tweeting, things like, "Would you have this guy back?" And there's a picture of Coutinho. And I think for us,
I really don't. He's a Barcelona and
I don't
Bayern
get it,
flop.
man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean,
He's a
seriously.
Barcelona and a Bayern flop.
I really look. People have their certain loves for certain players. I get it, but I mean that's just crazy to me. But anyway, look,
My
I
love for
think
Bayern ages ago.
yeah. I mean, I think we got Naby back, and I pray that this kid can just stay fit for a string of games, for the rest of the season, really, and because we're going to need him because that whole idea of the quote unquote Coutinho player, we have that in him and Ox. The way that they
Yeah.
can drive the defense, and that is just so good to see right now because this is when we're going to need them. And then obviously Shaq. So those three dudes right there, man, that's just another extra punch in our team. Midfield going forward. So that's really really good to see. Um, and yeah, it just looks really good right now. I'm so proud of the guys, especially some of the guys who aren't playing. But yeah, moving forward, I think we're looking really good. Just to close out, man, this game against Salzburg. I think they have nothing to lose, really, as the saying goes, and you could say that we have everything to lose. I think we go into this game. I think both teams. It'll be a heavyweight title fight. I think both teams will come out swinging, trying to attack, counterattack. I think the key will be which team can nullify the other and what they do the best. And I think we're equipped to do that. Our defense is, in my opinion, the best in Europe. I think there's not even a question. It's not arguably the best. I think it's just the best. And a
Yeah.
question I want to ask you with saying that is, are you at all, and this I know it's out of left field and more so devil's advocate, are you at all concerned with Robertson? Obviously, he looks like he's fine, but he did have that ankle injury, and I'm just wondering if you're worried about so much mileage that he's putting in because, at times we can put in a Gomez for Trent, but you're not really seeing too much of Milner coming in or even Gomez on that left side to come in and relieve Robertson a bit. Are you worried at all with just him running out of gas at some point in the season?
I think we may have to sort of rotate a bit with Robertson, with Milner at one point, because obviously he needs that rest because he plays such a sort of intense position. That role is so demanding. You have to come back and go forward. The fullback position is very, very tough. Obviously, you have to go up and down, just like a winger sort of position. But this one's obviously much tougher, especially when you're playing in a system like Liverpool's, where your fullbacks need to be so high up and always delivering balls and always overlapping and all that sort of thing. So maybe we can sort of rotate him in the. I mean, not yet. I mean, right now, can't rotate him this game. Can't rotate him against Watford. In my opinion, need to pick up these points. But obviously, then they've got a nice little week's rest. And no, they don't. They've got 4 days and have to go to Qatar. So maybe I think you could rest him against in the semi-final of Qatar in the Club World Cup, and maybe play Milner there, and then play Robertson in the final. That's what I think that could happen because he needs a rest sometime soon. But if Klopp doesn't rest him, then I've got no problem with it because obviously he knows how fit he is, he knows how healthy, and Robertson himself knows if he's okay with playing all these games, and obviously these players are machines; they want to play every single game. But I said we can use opportunity. I think in a Club World Cup in the semi-final to rest a few players, to rotate a few players, because I think we've got so much quality in the squad where it doesn't really matter, as shown in previous games where anyone can come in and perform, which is good to see. So yeah, possibly I think we can use Milner in that position in the next game or so to just recharge Robertson's batteries for the next upcoming fixtures.
Yeah, I just can't wait, man. I can't wait, and I do think I agree with what you said just now about Robertson and the team. I think that he's one of those dudes, much like Mane. I mean, these guys can run forever, all day. Genie as well, I put in that list, without really getting too banged up. And if they are banged up, they're able to just kind of play through it. So I'm not too concerned with it. I think the team, Klopp and the squad and the club, they got to a point now where they realize, how much they can push a guy and how much they can't. You know what I mean? I think before there's anything too bad coming up for him, possibly, I think Klopp will find a way to sort it, and so that's not anything that's going to be a long-term situation for him.
Yeah.
Much like he's doing with Salah, being able to rest him here and there when he can, and knowing that he has a team that can get the results. I think again we go back to how some of us felt in the summer of us not signing any first. I mean, we got some guys on the fringes, but not any real first team players. And again, Klopp is very measured in his so-called, maybe what you would call quote unquote risk that he takes. And he does it with 100% confidence in himself, confidence in his team, and again, the players on that squad right now have to really, really love that. Because I think there's some teams in some situations where you got players and you're bringing in guys and you're thinking, okay, cool, you're making the team better, but damn, is that going to hurt my playing time? And you can understand that. And so on the reverse of that, you got to look at the players and think, damn, um, Klopp, the manager believes in us. He thinks that we're good enough to repeat what we did last season. Not only that, but do one better. So I just think that's really good. It continues to help the harmony and the cohesion in the team. So I don't think there's many people wondering why we haven't gotten players now. But I am wondering, I'm curious to know if you think. I'm sure we talked about this before, but as days go on, with possible knocks and things of that nature, do you think we go for anyone in January? And if so, what kind of player do you think we go for?
Yeah, I mean that's a very good question because the longer it goes, the more I'm sort of getting a feeling that we might actually dip into the market, possibly, because obviously we've got a very, very tough period coming up. We haven't even started this period yet. We're just getting started with these Everton, Bournemouth games, Salzburg games because we got such a demanding fixture list. And if we're looking to go far into sort of maybe the FA Cup, or we're looking to go far in, we're gonna go far in the Champions League. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna win tonight, so forget all this Europa League talk. And we're gonna go obviously the Premier League as well. So tough, very tough. Sort of 4, 5, 6 months coming up. So, but maybe one or two players will help us. I think maybe maybe a wide player or just someone like that, or fullback, or even a fullback to just rest Robertson in a couple of occasions because we don't need to keep playing Milner there. A sort of natural fullback there with a left-footed fullback that can play understudy to Robertson. Being understudy to Robertson. I think the thing with Klopp is I think we only make a signing if it's a long-term signing. If it's something for the future, we won't make a signing in January if it's just for now.
No more Stephen Coker type of stuff, right?
No more Stephen Coker sort of things. You know what I mean? I mean that only happens if it's an emergency. You know what I mean? But we don't really have an emergency at the minute. So it's possible we might start. I mean, if a Sancho becomes available in January, and we think about his price is good that we can afford it. I think we would be able to go for it.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
I think so. If Dortmund say, do you want Jadon Sancho now? Here's the price, and Liverpool say, yeah, we can negotiate and we want the price now. I think we can go for it. I don't think it will be January, but I think that's a more realistic sort of summer deal. But I think it is possible. You know what I mean? If Dortmund say, he's up for sale, Liverpool say, okay, we've got this money to spend. Dortmund say, okay, deal. You know what I mean? So, and I think Edwards can. If we're talking about £130 million, I mean, Dortmund can forget about it because we're not going to pay that. But I think Michael Edwards can cook up a good deal for Sancho, and possibly I don't know who said it last. I can't remember who said it. Who was it? I think it was my friend. My friend said it. He said that possibly Grujic could be involved in a deal like that. And having maybe Dortmund seen the billing and Grujic and how he's done, possibly Marco Grujic could be involved in the deal. And I said to him, no, I like Grujic, and I said that I think he's a good player, but is he gonna be good enough to come into a team that's challenging for titles and challenging for Champions Leagues, and the competition's so tough? I'm not sure. If he was challenging for top 4, I think perfect, but not now. I personally don't think that. I think he's a good player. And people might, they're going to be saying that he's good enough, and that's fine. I may be proved wrong. I hope I am, but I just can't see Grujic sort of making it. Personally, I think he might be using for a swap deal for a Sancho or something like that. But in the summer, I'm really excited to see what sort of business we do. Because I think Sancho, I think he's a player that really excites me. You know what I mean? Sort of like a Van Dijk sign, like an Alisson sign, a big sign that would excite you. And I think he's young. He can play either side. Under a manager like Klopp, he'd get game time as well. So yeah, but in January possibly, I think I'd rather sign a fullback than a winger. In my opinion, I think it's needed more because fullbacks play so much football and the intensity at which they play. I think it'd be good to sign a fullback that we can just sort of swap around. I think we'll do business. We might do business in January. As Klopp said that we might do business in January. I'm not sure if we will, possibly 50-50. But I think in summer, I think we'll make a few signings to freshen things up more.
Yeah, and it's just nice to know, like, when these transfer windows come around, we just can't be bullied anymore. There's no such thing as that. Liverpool at a level now where, why wouldn't you want to come here? And if it's because there's too many players in your position and you don't want to fight for it, then good riddance to you. Go to Chelsea, go to wherever you want to go, City, wherever. Liverpool should be the goal, in my opinion, for guys who want to develop their game and maybe at a certain level want to be better. That's just my opinion, and I think at this point, there's not. It's like if Klopp really wants to do, better believe we're going to get him, and that's as simple as that. And especially if they mutually want to come back to us. I mean, they want to come to us, and with the Nike thing and the World Cup, the World Club Cup coming up, that's going to be even more of a shine and a light on Liverpool. It's just everything is going so well for us right now. It's crazy.
How great is it for us to just laugh at the likes of PSG and Real Madrid and Barcelona linking with our best players?
Yep.
You know what I mean? How great is it for us to just say PSG on Sadio Mane for Neymar? Putting laughing
emojis.
I
saw that, yeah.
You know what I mean? Putting laughing emojis. A couple of years ago, we'd be saying, "Oh, here we go again." Another player that we build up and he's going to go for big money, and we'd have to replace him. Nowadays, we can just laugh because we're the best team in the world. Why would you leave? Why would you leave Liverpool Football Club with a future that we have? You know what I mean? All the new training, the trophies that we have left to win, the new training ground building, in progress. So everything is just going up and up and up. And you look at that as a player, you think, for players that aren't even sort of this big names, you think, if Liverpool wants me, why would I not go there? Because I'm a player that's sort of like Mane, scoring 10 goals a season, Salah scoring a couple of, 12, 13, 14 goals a season at Roma. Look at the numbers they're hitting now. These are players that are good players, but they've now gone up to world class by obviously Jurgen Klopp, the way he trains them, everything. So it's great. It's very, very good. It's a very bright future for Liverpool, and we're just getting started. We're getting started now. We got the Champions League last year, Super Cup now. We're gonna win the Club World Cup. We're gonna win the Premier League. As I said, it's gonna be brilliant. It's gonna be a brilliant next few years for this club.
Yep. Everything is definitely pointing towards that, and sometimes again I just gotta pinch myself because we are the complete club in every way possible right now. The only thing we're missing is the league title, which looks like it's in the bag now. And let's just talk about that briefly as well. There's been a lot of talk across social media. I know it's probably split. I think there's some of us as supporters who do see Leicester as a bit of a threat. I think at this point, for me personally, I think City are 14 points behind. I'm not even really concerned with them anymore, and I think they'll drop even more points. I think for me, the way the table is now is not too different to what I think it'll end up being. That's just my honest opinion. You can see United maybe slipping in there with their run they're on. You can see maybe Spurs, but I think more or less Liverpool and Leicester I think are 1 and 2 for me, in my opinion. Now, there's questions that people will say things like, Leicester are Jamie Vardy injury away from dropping off. But I remember they said that in the year that they won it. So they have no European football, which they didn't have that year as well. So I think Leicester will be behind us for the majority of the season, more so than City.
Vardy's not going to get injured. Vardy's a machine. He's not going to get injured.
Yeah, I mean, and sure, like if he does, like anybody's talisman, if they lose him, they're going to struggle a little bit. But yeah, I just don't see it happening. If he is, it'll be a knock here and there. Ian Nacho's picked up some good form. He can come in and play. So Ian Nacho is almost like their Okazaki that season. That kind of other guy that could. Say again.
He reminds me of Ian Nacho. He reminds me of Divock Origi of last year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's so sort of similar because it's December time. Ian Nacho's not been involved at all, and that's his first
out of nowhere.
It's his first league appearance of the season, and he scores a late winner. Origi scored the first. He had his first sort of appearance of the Premier League appearance, and he scored the winner against Everton. It was so similar to see.
Yeah, and they did.
These sort of unknown heroes help you along the way, like Origi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And that's what you need. You know what I mean? That's what you need. So I am in the camp of. I'm not going to sleep on Leicester too much. I still think we're a better team than them, and obviously I don't think they're going to keep us from winning the title. That's not going to happen. But in terms of just that next other team, that at this point I'm looking at their games more so than I'm looking at City games, just to see Will
Yeah.
that, where will they drop points? And as I said, that Leicester versus City game is a big game all of a sudden now, which I think when the season started, no one really thought that was going to happen. So I respect Leicester. I think they're a good team, and I think if they keep that team together with Brendan Rodgers doing what he's doing, they could be, a challenging team in years to come. But I still just think it's Liverpool's title. I mean, 14 points ahead of City, eight ahead of Leicester. I think it's ours.
Exactly, and it's good to see Brendan Rodgers sign the new contract because we obviously spoke about it, and he's obviously stayed inside the new contract at Leicester, which is the right decision for him as a manager and for the future of Leicester. And I mean, Leicester's got Norwich at home next. They're going to beat Norwich at home, and we've got Watford at home, obviously on the early kickoffs on Saturday. So we'll beat Watford at home as well. So and then it's like here we go. We're supposed to have West Ham away, and it actually would have been a good time to play West Ham away. To be honest with you, I would have liked to play West Ham now.
Yeah, dog shit.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's postponed, and then while we're playing in the Club World Cup final, because we're in the semi-final, while we're playing in that, we've got City Leicester, and what a game that is! I mean, who would have thought you'd want City to do us a favour in a title race this year at the start of the season? Who would have said that at the start of the season? You'd want City to do you a favour to stop Leicester. I mean, everyone would have laughed, wouldn't they? So, but that's the situation. I would like a draw in that game. But the thing is, Leicester, it's not like they're 3 or 4 points behind us, and they're 8 points behind us, mate. So
right.
And we're gonna go to the King Power and we're gonna go and beat them because that's what's gonna happen. That's what we do, and we're gonna go beat them, and we're gonna put them in their place. So not worried about Leicester at all. They're gonna be like a sort of Chelsea, where they get one defeat, maybe it might be a City, and they're gonna, we're talking about Chelsea. Our Chelsea in the title race, our Chelsea this. And they're gonna fall off, right? And they're gonna get a couple of defeats, and the gap's gonna be 13 or 14 points to us. So as Chelsea, they got the defeat against City, and they lost to West Ham, lost to Everton, and that's what happens to these sort of teams. They don't have that sort of thing to maintain that sort of the confidence and the wins that they're getting. So I think maybe I'd love it if Leicester finish above City. I would absolutely love it. There's still a long way to go though. 6 points. That is still only 2 games. I mean, it's like if City beat Leicester, the 3 points are behind. And if they lose to us as well, City are back on track. Do you know what I mean? Because saying if they win their games coming up, so that's how quick it can change for second or third. But for first position, we're gonna be first for the whole season. Have we been first the whole season? I think from match day 2 or match day 3.
Match day 2, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been first for the whole season, which is great to see. So I mean, it's going to be great to see us win the Premier League in the season.
Yeah, it's just so crazy to see how roles have reversed for City and Liverpool. Whereas, City are going into games now, and I think they're like, let's just try to find a way to win these games. Liverpool going in looking like City of the last couple of seasons, where it's just like, rival fans are thinking, can somebody just beat this team? Can you just stop winning? And that's how I think we were doing for a long period of time last season when City went on their run. It's just like, can Leicester do it? Can Newcastle? Anybody? Can somebody just knock these dudes or just draw with them? Please, because we didn't handle our business. But now it's like, that's what Liverpool's doing, just completely dominating this league. And when I say dominate, I mean, obviously every game isn't 4 or 5-0, or they're not below us, but we're finding ways to win games. And that's what City had done for a long time. So I just feel like it's crazy how things have changed, where it's just like, Liverpool is that team that everybody, whether they're a City fan, Chelsea, Leicester, whatever, is saying, please just drop points so we can, get a little bit more cushion. And Liverpool just aren't doing that. They're just on the running games. They're flying right now. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. And like I said, when people talk about Pep and saying that he ruined football, part of that is true because, it was a standard that he set, credit to him and his coaching staff and his team, that really made, in my opinion, Liverpool this crazy beast of a team that it just won't stop. The part of that song is, we're never going to stop. It's just so true because this team just keeps firing, keeps putting their foot on people's throat, and they just not. And it's going to be so nice to see after this Salzburg game to see guys like Shaqiri, Naby, Ox, or whoever come back in against Watford. I think that's perfect for them to get those kind of games.
What would you do? I mean, what sort of level would you fail against Watford?
Yeah, man, Watford for me. I don't know. For me, Watford, I put Gomez as center back. I think he looked really, really comfortable. He looked really. Say again?
You might start center back tonight, possibly.
Yeah. He might. And maybe that's back to back. Because look, we need to get Gomez more games at center back, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Now, look,
definitely.
I'm not saying this because Larvin hasn't been good, because he's been great, and I'm thankful that he's been able to come in with Matip being out,
Yeah. But just
and,
in
and
case
stuff
Lovren
like that.
gets injured, we need a sort
Yeah,
of a Joe Gomez that's in rhythm in defense alongside Virgil van Dijk. So we need to sort of
and,
just maybe play him against Watford as well.
and he looked really at home when he came in. Bournemouth, switching from. I'm sure he was so relieved that he can leave that fullback position. Even though, again, I thought he was much improved in that position
Much
against Bournemouth. Much
than that.
improved. He's never gonna he's never gonna replicate Trent, so we can just get that out of our heads. But I think he did his best to come close to it.
He was pretty
Yeah,
poor.
yeah.
So
So Watford, I can see something like Gomez in there, rest of the back five the same, back four the same. Midfield, I can see something like Lallana again with Naby and Ox, and Origi up front. I can see that. So I just think those games are perfect. And again, it's not about disrespecting the opponent, but let's just be real. Some of these games we can afford to make 5-6 changes. Watford, I think, are bottom still, if I'm not mistaken. Or is
yeah,
that
they got Nigel Pearson and Craig Shakespeare now, and new managers, new sort of coaching.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that should be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think against teams like Watford, we can afford to do that. So, what are the remaining teams that we haven't played? I can't remember. So it's Watford, it's Wolves, and is there another team? Is that it? And then we start over again with playing.
Watford, Wolves. That's it. Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Those are
So,
the only two
yeah,
teams we haven't played yet. Okay, cool. So we
I mean,
played just a. Say
yeah.
again?
Wait. So we played 16 games, haven't we? So Watford, Wolves. That isn't that
That's it. That's it. No. It should be one more then, right?
Yeah, Watford, Wolves. Well, West Ham is it? West Ham was postponed.
Right. Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
three teams. Thanks. I couldn't remember all
That-
W teams, but yeah, Wolves are another team that I would have said I've been more comfortable saying that they would have beat Sheffield United, but Wolves are another team that slowly but surely have been going about their business, not losing games. They've drawn a lot of games, but they're not losing, and I think that's good for them. So
Yeah,
they'll be another team that can get into that top 5-4.
we've got 3 games out. We've got 3 home games out of our next. Obviously, it would have been different if the West Ham game was still to be played, but that's postponed. But we've got
Yeah.
3 home games out of our next 4 Premier League games. So Watford at home, Leicester away, Wolves at home, Sheffield United at home. So as I said, again, nice chance to get a lot of points there.
So when's Christmas Day? Because I'm wondering when the game against Leicester is for us.
I think Christmas Day is on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
So is Leicester playing City on Boxing Day, or are they playing Liverpool?
No, Leicester playing City on the 21st on Saturday. So
Okay.
next one. So Christmas Day is the 25th. It's on Wednesday, yeah, because last year was on Tuesday, and we
Okay.
play Leicester on Boxing Day, the Thursday, and then we play again on Sunday, and then we play again Sunday the 29th, and then we play on the Thursday of the 2nd.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And then we'll start with the FA Cup weekend and all that stuff.
Okay. So we got Watford, Aston Villa, Club World
Yeah.
Cup. Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, it's an interesting little run of games here. And then we start back with. Say again.
What about Aston Villa?
Oh no, I was saying we're playing them in the quarterfinal for the Football League Cup.
I completely forgot about that game.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I couldn't blame you for doing that, but yeah. So it's exciting, man. And obviously we got Everton in the third round of FA Cup. That should be interesting. And then we just start going back to the teams we played before: Tottenham, United. So it's after the let's see, after the Club World Cup, we got West Ham, Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield, third round against Everton, and then we back to Tottenham, United, Wolves. So yeah, it's an exciting time right now. So remind me again what your score prediction for tonight's game is.
I think I said 2-1, but you know what? Fuck it, 3-1. Because that Erling Haaland said in the press conference, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make Liverpool go. We're gonna make the European champions play Europa League football next year. We're gonna be playing Champions League football." Get lost.
I didn't. He was saying for the limited amount of, not to knock him, but he's got a little bit of broken English there, saying some things that weren't correct. But you respect that. But what I could make it, I was thinking, bro, you got a lot of balls on you to be talking like that, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Guess it's BK Mandzukic, but you know what I mean. That's what I'm saying. This guy just needs to
BK Mandzukic, that's tough.
because he just needs to relax a bit. Because
Yeah,
the goals and getting all that. But
but
let's see
again,
what you
see
do.
that. Good.
Let's see what you do in the big stage tonight, big man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, now listen, he's been producing in Champions League. We get that. He's been producing in his own league, but again, that's managing. Like, no, none of our players would come out and say something like that, even if we believed it. You just wouldn't say that. And I remember that guy running down the touchline at Anfield when they scored the equalizer 3-3,
Yeah.
as if they'd won something already. But
Yeah.
that guy's been a little too loose with his lips. Now look, he might come out have a good game tomorrow or tonight. I don't know, but that seems, for a young man, that seems a bit too far to be going. But obviously the Liverpool players, especially the defense, have gotten word of that. They've heard it. They're probably making it a bulletin board material situation, and they'll deal with him properly. But I just think, wow, you're putting a lot of, and again, like you said, it's nothing to lose, but that's you're putting a lot of extra pressure on your shoulders, I think.
We
But
can't
we'll see.
we can't let them score as well first. If they get the first goal, that's
Especially
not
at
good.
home.
That's not
Yeah, they're gonna be packed in there.
If we get the first goal at home, if we get the first goal in their stadium, obviously that's a big boost for us, because that will just maybe push them out a bit more, and then we'll go on to hit them in the break and win the game. But we can't let them go 1-0 up,
Yeah,
because
we definitely got to do in our game today.
I think that's over. Not that I think the tie's over then, but I just think that we just need to make it a bit more easy for ourselves and just keep the game 0-0 as long as we can until we get that first goal. And I think that'll be vital for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I am going to go with a 4-2. I do think they'll get. I think it'll be a high score in that matter. I don't think it'll be like a close 4-2. I think it'll be 3-0 for a lot. Then they might get one after halftime, and then maybe one at the end. Yeah. If we listen, we get a clean sheet away from home to a team like that, cool. I would love it, but I just see them getting some kind of joy at some point in the game, but just not enough to get what they want out of the game. So, we get the win. We top the league. You got to believe Napoli will destroy Genk, or not destroy him, maybe, but just still get the win. I think they're at home, Napoli.
They've won about 8 or 9 games themselves, haven't they? So
yeah. So, but they've got some issues going on apparently in their camp. There's even talks of Ancelotti maybe his head being turned for other teams. So that's their business. But we had our business today. Get the win, go through. Obviously, at the end of the world to get a draw, but obviously you support Liverpool. You want to get the win, and I think that's what we'll do today. But yeah, enjoy the game, bro. I'll definitely be communicating with you like we usually do. And thanks for making time, and I'll talk to you soon.
no problem.
All right,
Good day. Hope the win. Bye-bye.